Hi, we are going to discuss complementary, supplementary, and vertical angles. So angles whose measures add up to 90 degrees are called complementary. The easiest question you can ask, find the complement of an angle whose measure is 37 degrees. All you do, since it says complement, that means angles add up to 90 degrees. So what we do is we are going to subtract. We're going to do 90 minus 37. That is 53 degrees. That is our answer. Yes, that's as simple as that. Okay. Our second question here is they give you a diagram. This indicates that this angle here is 90 degrees. So we're looking at these two angles. They together make up 90, which means x plus 73 equals 90. And you can easily say that x is going to be 90 minus 73. And that is going to be 17 degrees. That is our answer. A little bit of algebra. An angle is 2 times its complement. Find the measures of both angles. So we have an angle. One angle is x. The other angle is going to be 2x. And we know they are complementary, which means they are going to add up to 90 degrees. So again, there is a one angle. The other angle is 2 times its complement. So which means that this angle is twice as big, so 2x, and together they add up to 90. That means 3x is 90. That means x equals 30. Well, that alone is not enough because we are being asked to find both angles. One angle is going to be 30 degrees, right? The other angle is going to be 2 times 30, which is going to be 60 degrees, and that's going to be the answer. Alright, supplementary angles. Those are the two angles that are going to add up to 180. Find the supplement of an angle whose measure, the supplement, whose measure is 94. 180 is the key number. 180 minus 94 is going to be 86 degrees. See a diagram like this. This has an angle like that, which means it is what they call a straight angle. It adds up to 180. Here it's half of a full revolution. So we know that x plus 118 equals 180. That means x equals 180 minus 118. And x is going to be 62 degrees. An angle is 3 times its supplement. Find the measures of both angles. So we have one angle. We have another angle that's 3 times that, so 3x, and we're dealing with supplementary angles, which means these two angles added together will add up to 180. So we have 4x equals 180. That means x equals 45. Does that answer the question? Not quite, because we need to find both angles. One angle is 45, the other angle is 3 times that, so the other angle is 45 times 3. Which is 135. And we're done. Moving on. What angles do we call vertical angles? Those are any two non-adjacent angles that are formed at the intersection of two lines. So two lines intersect each other. Non-adjacent angles are angles that do not share a common side. Those would be angles 1 and 3, and also angles 2 and 4. They always come in pairs. You actually have two pairs of angles that are vertical here, angles 1 and 3 and angles 2 and 4. And vertical angles are congruent. Congruent means they have the same measure, which means angles 1 and 3 are congruent and angles 2 and 4 are congruent. Always going to be like that. Okay, so let's try to do some problems. We have this diagram here. We have two intersecting lines. There's one angle that's given to us, 76 degrees, and then we have to find the other three angles. Well, let's start with the easiest. So 76 and y, those are angles that lie across from each other. They are vertical angles. So y is going to equal 76. How do we find the other two? Well, what we need to do is we need to realize that, for example, if I do x and 76, these two angles are supplementary. They add up to 180, right? Because that's a straight angle here. So we can say that x plus 76 equals 180, which means x is going to be 180 minus 76, which is going to be 104. So x is 104, and z is also 104 because x and z are vertical angles, which means they are congruent, which means they have the same measure. So z equals 104. So z, x, and y. Pretty easy. All right. A little bit of algebra here to do. So we have this diagram that shows us that this angle is x plus 16 degrees, this one's 4x plus minus 5 degrees. What do we know about these two angles? They are going to be vertical. They are vertical angles, which means they are congruent, they have the same measures. So we are going to set them equal to each other. Okay, and hopefully you know how to solve equations like that. I'm gonna have 3x equals 21 and x equals 7. Since all we need to do here is find the value of x, because that's what the question was, then we are done with this problem. This problem, so a little bit more algebra to do. We actually have three different angles here. We have one angle given to us and the other two have variables in them, and the variables are not the same. And we do need to find the values of x and y. So let's start with y, because these are vertical angles. It should be pretty easy. So we know that 63 and angle y plus 23 are vertical, which means they're congruent. So y plus 23 equals 63. From there you can easily find that y is going to be 40. So we have a value of y. Actually, we shouldn't have the degree symbol here. It's just 40. Okay. So how do we find this angle here? Well, these two angles here, 63 and this one, they make up 180 degrees. They are supplementary. So if we add these two measures together, we should get 180. That means 2x minus 17 plus 63 equals 180. So we just need to solve this equation and we will have the value of x. So 2x plus negative 17 plus 63 is going to be 46 equals 180. So 2x equals, subtract 46 on both sides, is going to be 134. And divide both sides by 2 is 134 divided by 2. And that's going to give us 67. So x is 67. Okay, so that's the value of x, that's the value of y. Alright, moving on. Our last example here. So what we have here is three angles and the measures are not given to us, but we do have some relationship in terms of our variables. First of all, we're going to start with this. So these two angles here are going to be congruent. They have the same measures. So we can set this expression equal to that expression because they are vertical angles. So 2x plus 5 equals 3x minus 33. We need to solve this equation. X equals, we're going to have 38 here. So x is 38. Now, unlike the previous problem, we actually are going to need to find the measure of either that angle or that angle, because otherwise we're not going to be able to find the value of y. So if I take this value here and I substitute that into 2x plus 5, I will be able to find the measure of that angle. So 2 times 38 is 76, and 76 plus 5 is 81. That means this angle here is 81 degrees, right? And this angle and that angle are going to be supplementary, which means they add up to 180. So 81 plus this should add up to 180. So 81 plus 4y minus 1 equals 180. So we're going to have 4y plus 80 equals 180. That means 4y equals 100 and y equals 25. And that's it. This is how it's done.